Match at Princes Park. In Club Corner now talking with Bob Davis.
Well, first of all to you, David, did you enjoy yesterday's game at all? A big game like that. Do you ever get any enjoyment from the game?
When the final siren rang, no, even then, we didn't play very well yesterday, Bob. No. I thought the game was a real finals-type game, was nip and tuck, and a lot of mistakes, and a lot of players who played below their best, mainly because their opponents were not allowing them to do as well as they would like to do. A lot of problems in trying to control opposition players who were good but not sacrifice your own players to do the job. It was pretty, I don't know whether Francis, it was a pretty difficult coaching day, really.
Did you find that, Francis?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Well, Francis, it was reported in the paper, whether it was true or not, that you said it'll be a different result the next time we play.
No, I didn't say that, Bob. What I did say was that I felt that we were going to be in a good position, provided we improved in a few departments to reverse the result, provided we perform.
Perform better.
Yes, but I know, full marks to Carlton yesterday. They took it away in the last quarter when it really mattered, and as a result won the game, and that was about the difference in the sides.
Would Mark Lee be an impetus to your side?
Well, he gives us another option. We've been very happy with Emmett Dunn this year, and he's done the job. Emmett has limitations, and Mark's strengths are in the areas where Emmett's got limitations, so between the two of them, I think we'll finish up with a much better combination in the ruck.
David, when you were talking before then, how far do you go? How far do you limit the players on the other sides without sacrificing your own game?
Yeah, I was talking to Francis before we came on camera, and I think that's the problem. You need players who... Austin is a player of that nature. I think Curley did a fantastic job, but his great capacity is to reduce other players' effectiveness. But you can't ask, I think, more free-flowing type players to control their game to the extent of stopping the opposition and not generating their own play. And that's why, you know, yesterday there were players on either side who were directly opposite. I can name 4 or 5 who I would have classified as good players for us, yet where I was worried about their opponents, and probably Francis the same way.
Well, a great confrontation yesterday with 2 brilliant players in David Glascott and Rains now. What would your story be to Rains, Francis? Just to play his natural game and to try and beat Glascott on his merits? And
to work very hard. I mean, so David Glascott is a terrific worker and a very good player. Jeff Rains is a very good player who's been struggling a little bit for confidence, and my instructions to Jeff yesterday was simply to attack the ball and to work as hard as he's ever worked in his life, if not harder. And unfortunately, for Jeff, he sustained an ankle injury which curtailed his performance dramatically and probably spoilt what would have been a very good battle.
Yeah. What about Glascott? What did you say to Glascott?
I think that's a very good description. I think David's a young player with enormous enthusiasm, enormous working talents. I hope he never forgets, as people start to tell him what a good player he is, that it's the hard work that David does that makes him such a good player.
That his movement right around the field.
You know, last week, you might have remembered against South Melbourne, we took the ball from one end of the ground to the other with hand passes. David gave the first in the back pocket, and he was still there trying to get the last one when Ashman kicked the goal. He was in the picture. Now, that sort of running capacity is what the game's all about these days.
Could I sense a piece of frustration in Fitzpatrick's game? Does he appear to you as though he's a little bit frustrated at the moment, with the result he may be losing some of his calm?
I think Fitzy would prefer to be doing the job that Wow's doing. I think that wouldn't be saying anything public. I think Fitzy's doing a job for the side because we've asked him to do it, because Wow's doing the other extremely well. I think Wow's ruck work yesterday was superb. And I thought Fitzpatrick made a very good contribution in the most difficult position on the ground at centre-half forward. Unfortunately, we lost Howe before the game. We resurrected Easton, who'd been injured on Thursday night and unable to play and wouldn't have been able to run fast, so we were forced to play him at full forward rather than centre-half forward. I'm delighted with Mike's ability to do a job for the team when he really is sacrificing some of his own tremendous ruck skills to allow Wow to stay on the side and us to function better.
All right, thanks very much, David, and thanks, Francis.